Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashley Shalick. I'm a senior program specialist on the Tech for Independent Living team at the ARC of Northern Virginia. I'm excited to partner with Ronald Reagan, Washington National Airport, and United Airlines staff today to host this informative webinar for families and their loved ones with disabilities and for those with disabilities who are traveling independently. This presentation is going to feature various departments within the airport as they present their many available resources. First off, I'd like to share some logistics for today. All the participants are muted. Please use the Q&A box at any time to ask any questions. We'll take all of the questions at the end of the webinar. And also at the end of the webinar today, I will be emailing out these slides and resources that are discussed, and then eventually the recording will be available on the ARC of Northern Virginia's YouTube channel. I'd like to welcome our presenters, Eliza Mendelowitz, Tina Malley, Doug Campbell, Davina McCoy, Kelly Rector, Tim Blayman, Kim Denning, Maria Platas, June Forte, and Dara Mazzari. Thank you so much for taking the time today to be a part of this webinar with us and sharing these resources to our families. So also to share, here is the flow of today's webinar. I'm about to kick it off with our Path of a Passenger video, and then I will be presenting our app, ARC Independence, and then we will go over to TSA, followed by Traveler's Aid, Fire, Police, United Airlines, and then open the Q&A portal. So to then start, we want to share a video that the ARC of Northern Virginia partnered with the airport to create called A Path of a Passenger. The goal of this video is to be a resource for those traveling to be able to preview the entire journey of entering the airport all the way up to boarding the plane to be able to see that process before they travel. And it's on YouTube. I'll email out the link. For the sake of time today, I'm going to be playing it at 1.5 speed, just so it doesn't take the full 11 minutes. But please take the time next time you or a loved one is traveling to watch it, to be able to see everything that they will come across and experience and the sights and sounds as they go through their journey through the airport. So to start, I'm going to play the video, and I hope you all enjoy.
Attention retirees, if you're willing
Oh, so sorry.
from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. The moving walkways and ending.
All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope that can be a helpful resource to you and your families as you're traveling. The link will be emailed out at the end. But in that video, you saw our colleague Sarah using an app while she was waiting for the gate, and the app she was using was Arc to Independence. So I'd like to share a little bit more. This app was developed by my team at the Arc of Northern Virginia. We are the Tech for Independent Living team. And if you're not familiar, a little bit about the Arc of Northern Virginia, we promote and protect the human rights of people with IDD, which is intellectual and developmental disabilities, and actively support their full inclusion and participation in the community throughout their lifetimes. There's many different types of ARCs throughout the country. There's over 600 chapters throughout the United States. However, we are the only chapter with our program, so that's really cool. We are an advocacy and education chapter, so most of our programs revolve around those two factors. We have an INR portal, we do case management, we have a special needs trust, many programs. I encourage you to explore our website, but most importantly, not most importantly, but for today, the Tech for Independent Living team. And so what is Tech for Independent Living? Our team has created virtual lessons to guide people through life's daily routines and challenges using an app that can be downloaded onto their phone. We are a grant-funded program, so with that, we are able to provide our resources for free to all individuals and organizations that live within these areas. So Arlington County, Fairfax County, Falls Church, Loudoun County, Prince William County, DC, Montgomery County, Maryland, and Prince George's, Maryland. All of these areas are able to use our app for free. And so when creating this app, we are fairly new. We just launched October 5th of last year. So we are coming up on our 1-year anniversary. But we wanted to create a new version of this app that can be downloadable and also be able to use on a computer. So our app can be downloaded in the App Store, both on Apple and Google Play. And if you're using it within a group, say for a day program or in the classroom, it can go up on the screen and you can go through the lessons as a group together. And we wanted to be able to connect schools, homes, and services and have that consistency when we're learning a task or learning about a new idea. And also you can review lessons anytime. So if you want to check out our airport lesson before a big trip, you can look at it the night before. You could watch it 10 times. You can look at it on the way to the airport. There's no limit to help build that confidence for those to travel and become independent in their communities. Going back to being collaborative, we want to work with an individual's entire support network, whether that be their families, caregivers, job coaches, support services, teachers. We want to keep everything consistent. A conversation example that I like to use is hand washing. So mom may teach you one way, a teacher may teach you another, but that can be really confusing to learn when you're trying to master a task. So using our app can create that consistency across everyone that's working together. And here's a sneak peek of our app on the homepage. We are proud that we have nice large text, large images, and it's easy to navigate. And here is the username view. So you can see we have all of our lessons divided into 4 categories: daily living, employment, transportation, and public safety. And then users are able to swipe left to right to choose the lesson that they're going to be using. On here, there's lots of different examples, but when a user is in their individual account, they'll only see the lessons that are available to them that have been assigned. So it's not overwhelming, it's not confusing. We have hundreds of lessons, so we don't want to overwhelm a new user. And we have 2 formats of lessons. So we have hundreds of lessons in our generalized lesson catalog, covering these examples such as money, home living, personal hygiene, safety, travel training, healthy relationships, and health and nutrition. But we're also able to create customized lessons. So for example, for money, and if you have a loved one that has a goal of living independently one day, we have to learn how to manage a budget. So we can work with the parents or the aides and build that budget that the individual has and build that into their lesson. Same for home living skills. If there's a family recipe that they want to create on their own, we can come and take pictures and work step by step to have those instructions into the app. And some features. We just got a brand new feature of wayfinding, which is really exciting. We've built Google Maps into the app, which I'll show a little bit more later. We can add videos, both custom recorded videos or embedded videos from YouTube. And these can be both instructional or as a reward after learning a task. There's a screen reader, so the lessons can be read aloud automatically. And then also check for understanding, so we could put quizzes at the end of lessons. Here's some images of the wayfinding feature. So from the back end, we're able to plug in both the starting and ending direction. So if it's a standard route of, say, from home to the library or to work, then they just have to go in, and it's just like Google Maps. They can click if they're driving, walking, taking a bike, or public transportation. And then another great way to use it is if someone's lost. We can plug in just the endpoint, and as long as that user is on their phone and has location services turned on, they can click, start from their location and then follow the directions to get back home. If maybe they're not confident on typing the address in on their own or don't want any mistypes, then we can use this and it's safer. Here's an example of our airport lesson. So when you're within the app and within a lesson, it clicks through as if you're in an Instagram story. So you can tap left to right to navigate throughout the lesson, and there's little bars across the top of how far they've gone through the lesson. So nice large pictures, highlights, arrows. This is a general lesson, but it could be custom to someone's travel journey. Here's an example of our metro lesson. So going through every different section of the trip. Pedestrian safety, here's how we can add videos, and there's myself thoroughly checking each way to make sure there are no cars coming, and different safety reminders. And also travel-related fears. So it's not just travel, we have daily living and safety and employment. But so travel-related fears is a really popular lesson. We cover different specific fears that an individual may have that's preventing them from traveling, and then addressing and how they can prepare themselves. Or stranger safety. You come across a lot of strangers when you're traveling. So teaching the difference of what's a good stranger and a bad stranger. If you're lost, you need to ask a stranger for help. So how can you decide and navigate who is a good person to ask and help you that won't be harmful? As I said, we have hundreds of lessons ready to go. They're all developed by our team of 6. We have 3 full-time employees and then also 3 program assistants who are all self-advocates with disabilities who write incredible lessons alongside us and help pull the app together. And outside of the app, we also do travel training. So we do monthly trips, monthly metro trips, and quarterly bus trips with our partners at ECNV. And through our grants, we're able to supply the metro cards. So it's free for anyone who would like to join. We can cover the cost. And to end, if you're interested in using ARC to independence, please shoot us an email to our team email address, techforindependence at the ARC of Northern Virginia. From there, we will send a registration form and schedule an intake meeting. Within that intake meeting, we just want to talk and find out more about your loved one, of how we can best serve them using the app. And then we will build any custom lessons, assign the general lessons, and then from there, we will provide access and training and then continued support. We're all here for you. And so that was a lot of talking. I am going to transfer it over to TSA. We have June Forte and Dar on here who are going to share TSA resources.
Okay, we can start now. The next slide. If we want to talk about TSA Cares. TSA Cares is a program that you need to notify them 72 hours in advance. However, if you cannot do that, you can actually request to speak to a supervisor or a manager at the checkpoint, and they will assign a PSS, which is a passenger support specialist, and that person will help you through the screening process. They will actually help you all the way through screening and actually go with you down to your gate. And if needed, and I've done this myself several times, will actually help you on the plane if that's required. When you request the help of TSA Cares, you need to either call them, or, like I said, you can actually ask for an assistance once you get to the checkpoint. But you need to let the person know when the PSS calls you, let them know what your specific need is. You may have a need that you, not that you may walk with a cane, but you would also like to have somebody's arm so you can be assisted that way. You need to let the passenger support specialist know what your particular need is, and they can prepare how to help you through the checkpoint. Um, the number for TSA Cares is 1-855-787-227, and it's open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. And on weekends and holidays, it's from 9 to 8 Eastern Time. Um, you can actually, when you talk to your passenger support specialist, you can ask them to meet you at the curb. You can ask them to meet you at the ticket counter, but you need to make them aware of what your needs are, and they definitely will help you with that. If you need a wheelchair or something like that, you need to make arrangements with the airlines because that is done through a private contractor and it's contracted through G2. Now, all our officers, believe it or not, even though we look for people that we have scheduled an appointment to help and assist, if any of our officers see the lanyard, the sunflower lanyard, we will automatically ask to see if they need assistance through the checkpoint. So it doesn't matter whether they have were seeking help from TSA. TSA will automatically offer to help them, and we've done that several times. And that's all I have to say on passenger support specialists and TSA Cares.
Thank you, Ms. June. One of the other great resources for us is tsa.gov. You'll be able to go to the partition for TSA Cares, and it breaks it down into specific categories. Ms. June, you might want to mute your line, please.
Okay.
So you can go to disabilities and medical, you can go to religious and cultural, etc. So there's a lot of subpartitions to be able to assist you. In some airports, the PSS may not be able to meet you outside of the security checkpoint just because of the size of the airport. But the PSS has additional training to assist passengers through the checkpoint. Next slide, please. There were some questions about TSA PreCheck and Clear. Basically, TSA PreCheck is our trusted traveler program. You provide us some information, and in turn, when you pay the fee of, I believe, $78 for every 5 years, you'll have access to TSA PreCheck, which is expedited screening, allows you to keep your shoes on, your laptop, and your carry-on, etc., and it allows you faster access through the checkpoint. The average wait time for PreCheck at DCA is about 3 minutes. And then Clear is an independent company that does verification of your identity for a fee. However, this does not automatically include PreCheck. This is just to verify you are who you say you are through biometrics. And I'm looking forward to the question section. And I wanted to give a quick shout out to the ARC for being such a valuable resource. I was not aware of such a resource, so I thank you guys for what you do. And I'll certainly be sharing that with more people.
Thank you, Dar. From here, we'll pop into our friends at the airport.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eliza Mendelowitz. I work here at Reagan National Airport as the Assistant Customer Service Manager. Just wanted to thank you guys for joining us today, and we're really happy to share all of our knowledge about travel to kind of help make your journey through our little airport by the river a lot easier. If you go to the next slide, please. So in wonderful timing, this month, we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of having joined the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Lanyard program. So for those of you that are not familiar with this program, the sunflower basically acts as a recognizable symbol and a prompt for someone to voluntarily choose to let the people around them know that they may have an invisible disability and that they may need more time, care, or patience. So the program was first launched back in 2016 over in London at the London Gatwick Airport, but it's gained a ton of popularity around the world. So more airports and airlines and even other venues, such as like shopping malls, train stations, and schools are joining each month. It's a really rapidly growing program, and we're excited to be official members both here and at our sister airport, Washington Dulles International Airport. So while the airport has over 21,000 different employees from all of our different companies, we're doing everything we can to keep the new and the veteran employees aware of this program. The employees are trained at every opportunity to offer a helping hand to those that need it. So these lanyards are completely for free. They can be picked up at any of our information desks located both in Terminal 1 and Terminal 2, as well as both pre and post security, as well as the USO, and some airlines also have it available, such as United Airlines. To pick up these lanyards, you don't need to provide any additional information or elaborate to what you may have, and you're welcome to keep the lanyard for all of your future travels. Most airports will recognize them, and more are coming each day. So far, since we launched last year, we've handed out over 1,100 lanyards. We're really proud to be a member of this program and to continue improving our accessibility amenities. So next time you're at your airport or our airport, please don't hesitate to say hello to our Traveler Day volunteers and pick one up for your next travel. So I'd like to introduce Ms. Tina Malley, who can tell you more about these volunteers and the Traveler Day program that we have here at the airport.
Hi, everyone. I am Tina Malley. I'm the program manager for Travelers Aid at DCA. For those of you who aren't familiar with what Travelers Aid is, we are an international organization that works with communities in different parts of the country. Sometimes we work in transportation hubs such as DCA and at Dulles. Other times we work just in community-based services at some of our other locations like Charlotte and Atlanta. Here at DCA, we have 163, I think now, volunteers, and they are the ones that provide assistance at the information desk that you'll see throughout the airport. There are 4 pre-security information desks in Terminal 2, 1 in Terminal 1, and then 2 podiums that are post-security in Terminal 2. So hopefully you'll see them and they'll be able to help you if you ever need any assistance. They are the ones that are distributing, well, in addition to some of the airlines and the USO, they also are distributing the sunflower lanyards at the desks. All you have to do is walk up to them and say, "Can I have a sunflower lanyard?" They won't ask you any questions. They'll just hand it over to you. If you have any questions for them, they're happy to answer. If you need wayfinding instructions, if you need assistance with like a good place to eat or a quiet place to sit, they're the people that can help you with that. We do offer assistance on special requests based on volunteer availability. So if you let us know in advance, we can try to arrange for a volunteer to help if you need assistance, like getting to the TSA line, or if you have an adult child that's traveling alone and you want someone to check on them. Our volunteers can do that. We just need to arrange for that in advance. And if we have a volunteer available to do so, we will happily assist. So stop by the desks anytime you need help. And if you have any other questions, I'll be answering them at the end. Oh yeah, we have travel tips. Sorry. We have some travel tips that we've noticed, the questions that we've gotten from passengers over the years. And some of the things I would suggest are, if it's possible, to come visit the airport beforehand to just get familiar with the layout, know where the drop-off is, where the pickup is, where the bathrooms are, that type of stuff, the noise, the lights and everything. Also check out flyreagan.com. There's a lot of information on that website, especially with the food choices that are available. I know that sometimes, you just want to grab a quick bite, or maybe you want to have a sit-down meal. Having that ability to see what's where, and if it's close to your gate in advance, will cut down the stress a lot before you arrive. And some other things, if you are going to be traveling or having somebody travel, it's best if they're able to navigate and follow the instructions. If they're not going to be able to navigate on their own at all or follow safety instructions, we suggest having a companion. And that's all.
Thank you, Tina. All right, next up we have Davina McCoy, who is going to be sharing about the airport's own dispatch and public communications team.
Good morning. Sorry, I was having a little issues there. Good morning. I am the Assistant Director for the Public Safety Communications Center. It is the 911 center for both airports, both DCA and, well, Dulles and Reagan. As you can see on the screen, we have our own direct phone number, but you can also call 911 and it will direct you right to us. We work with all local jurisdictions, Loudoun County, Fairfax County. Again, if there's anything that needs to come directly to us, they will patch it to us, and if we need their assistance, we patch it to them. Some of our best practices that we try to get everyone to do are, number one is the location. Which location are you at? Which airport are you at? Is very important, very key. Our dispatchers are trained to ask you that and try to get that out of you. We want to make sure you have the location. What is the best phone number to get to you in case we get disconnected, to get the information back to you? What is the issue? And a description of a person, if you want us to look for a person or something that's going on. These are the key things that we are going to ask you and like to have folks keep in mind. Again, the location, a number, what's the issue, and a description so that we can get you help the fastest way possible. As it says on the screen, if you see something, say something, don't hesitate to call us. Every call is an important call, so let us help you figure it out. We rather you call than to sit on something. So don't think anything is non-important or unimportant for you to give us a call. Let us figure that out if we can send you the correct help that you need. And again, we're always here. You can call 417-2400 or 911. And I'll introduce Miss Firefighter Kelly Rector to tell you a little bit more about our fire department.
Thank you, Davina. We have Kelly. Awesome.
Can you see me now?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, great. Sorry, it was a delayed turning on my things. Okay, hello everybody. As Miss Davina already said, I am Kelly Rector, firefighter here. I work both between Reagan National and Dulles International. I've been here for about 20 years. Let me see here. I see we have 163 professionals ready to help. So we have one fire station at Reagan National, and that fire station consists of the vehicle specifically for aircraft emergencies, a fire engine, traditional fire engine, and ambulances, just as the picture you see with all the fun kids in the slide here. Next slide for me, please. Okay, so these are the important things from the fire and EMS side that I thought were important to focus on. First thing, in keeping with the see something, say something theme, just as Davina said, if you're not sure, please, please, please call 911. It is better to have us there and not need us, as opposed to needing us and not having us there. If you are traveling with any medications, please, please, please make sure that you keep those medications in your check bag. Excuse me, I always get that mixed up. In your carry-on bag, not in your checked bag. Some aircraft that you might travel on would be smaller and have less overhead storage space. So sometimes at the gate, they will ask you to gate check your carry-ons. So if they do ask you to gate check your carry-ons, please make sure that before you do that, you take out any important medications And also, as the slide says, be sure you pack enough medication for the full length of your trip. The wheelchair assistance was already mentioned, but also please remember that again. I like to reiterate that. That's very important. If you need a wheelchair, please ask for that. The service is free. If you're walking, wear comfortable shoes. That's one of the things that we see a lot is, people don't wear comfortable shoes. They don't realize how much walking they might have to do. And then they could end up with, an injury because of that. But also if you are in a wheelchair and then once you get to the aircraft, you might need help getting onto the aircraft, that is also something that you can call us for. So in addition to the emergencies, emergent care that you might need, more of the customer service aspect, we're also here for that. That's not something you might see with the traditional, fire department out within the community, but here at the airport, we're very, very big on also providing customer service that might be needed, but you're not really sure who to call. So I think, let me look at my checklist. Yeah, I think that is everything. So hopefully I didn't talk too fast. And again, as everyone else has said, if there are any questions, just put them in the chat and we will answer them, I believe, at the end.
Thank you, Kelly. Next up, we have Mr. Tim Blayman, who will be talking with Public Safety.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tim Blayman. I'm a lieutenant with the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority Police Department. A little bit about our police department. We are made up of one of the largest police departments in Northern Virginia. We have approximately 290 sworn and civilian staff. Our officers are Virginia certified, and we enforce airport regulations, county codes of Arlington, Fairfax, and Loudoun, along with the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia. We also work closely with our federal partners and our federal and local partners to include some of our sworn staff that are assigned to, federal task force. We really enjoy our strong ties with our neighboring jurisdictions and will certainly provide mutual aid support when we're called upon or needed. As you may know, our airports service more than 46 million passengers. Our work brings us into contact with a very diverse group of people. These patrons range from vacationing families to traveling government officials, are also our internal community that we serve along with airline tenants. We believe in a very strong cooperation between our police department and our community. We believe that it's essential to promoting safe and secure airports. So as you can see in this picture, that's kind of a little bit about the police department, but I'm sure everybody's curious who our canine friend in the picture is. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my partner, Tiller. Tiller is a 3-year-old lab who was trained and placed with our police department by an organization based out of Virginia Beach called Mutts with a Mission. Tiller began his training at 9 weeks, and then continued that training till he was 2 years old. Tiller is an accredited dog through Assistance Dog International. And we were very fortunate to get Tiller from Mutts with a Mission back in April of 2003. A little bit about what Tiller does is he's in Virginia, we call it a facility dog, and he's trained to provide physical and emotional health benefits to groups or individuals experiencing stress, anxiety, or trauma. The Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority Police Department, our peer team, and me as Tiller's primary handler. We use Tiller to assist staff during day-to-day work after critical incident response, and for mental health assistance in a critical incident stress debriefing after our officers were involved in traumatic events, injury, or death on the job. Yeah, I always say if you want to follow Tiller, you're welcome to do so, or you can see some pictures of Tiller at our MWA Police, our Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority Police Facebook page. And often we've deemed Tuesdays Tiller Tuesday, so you're welcome to see updated pictures and follow Tiller in some of the activities that he does throughout the airport and within the police department. Prior to the seminar starting, we had a few questions. One of the questions was, what would you recommend to passengers that are scared of dogs? I would certainly suggest that you try and avoid our police canines. Tiller is one of 13 canines that we have here in the police department. And he's a little bit different than our other canines, or a lot different than our other canines. However, it might be helpful that if you are traveling out of the airport and with somebody who has a fear of dogs, taking a few minutes before you arrive at the airport to explain that the airport will have police canines, and they're very important to the mission of keeping our airport safe. Our canines are extremely professional and our dogs are extremely well trained, but it is a very important aspect of our airport to keep our community safe. And also, you might see passengers traveling with a service dog. These dogs should be displaying a vest that says service on them. And my suggestion, if you see those dogs, that you would avoid or ignore those dogs. Those dogs are providing a specific task for the individual that they're there with. And it's really best to just avoid or ignore those animals. Another question that we had is, does the police department have any recommendations for adult or children having mental episodes or possibly becoming physically abusive? I would certainly say that if you're in these situations, to certainly give us a call if you think that the police or the fire department is needed. Again, our Public Safety Communication Center listed a phone number earlier, or of course 911 to seek police or fire assistance. And I would suggest that if you do call in to report or to advise us that you need further assistance, please give as much information to our communication center as that you can. In addition, all of our police department officers are trained in crisis intervention training, which teaches our staff techniques to help de-escalate situations involving this. And that's it for my presentation. Happy to take any questions after the presentation is over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tim. That was awesome. Next up, we are leading into Kim and Maria with United Airlines.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kim Denning. I'm the General Manager for United Airlines at DCA, and with me is Maria Playtez. She's one of our supervisors with United at DCA. And we're going to review what the travel experience entails and what we can do to help your travel experience be a little bit less stressful. And we're going to talk about some of our resources and where to find a little bit more information. First, I want to say I'm really excited that we're able to participate in this webinar today and share with you the resources United has available for our customers with special needs. And I'm going to start off by telling you just a little bit about our training. Our training stems from our service standards, which we call our Core 4, and those service standards are safe, caring, dependable, and efficient. So it doesn't matter whether you're a pilot, flight attendant, or a customer service representative at the airport, we all practice the same Core 4 service standards. Maria's going to talk about the flight booking, which is on the next slide.
Hello, everyone. As Kim said, my name is Maria Playtez. I'm one of the supervisors here at the airport, and we'll be going through your travel experience. I'm glad to be part of this important presentation for all of you. So your trip is going to begin by booking your flight. We recommend that you book directly with united.com because the accessibility desk is there available if you should need any special assistance, and you can request it right there and then. However, you are free to book online through any other website of your liking, or even through a travel agency if that is the case. If you do that, we ask that you please go to united.com after that booking is done with your confirmation number and your last name. You can pull up your reservation and you can request any special services that you may need at that moment.
Okay, next slide. So there's several different ways to make a reservation, and Maria did mention United.com, and I would strongly recommend that you start off with United.com because that's where all of our resources are available right at your fingertips. And then once you make your reservation, there are several different ways that you can get additional assistance. United does have what we call our accessibility desk, and they're individuals that work at the desk. They're thoroughly trained on what accommodations United can offer with our customers with disabilities. But really, you're the best advocate for your family member, and you know what assistance your family member needs. So when you make your reservation, just make sure you let United know exactly what you need. We have special codes that we put in the reservation so we can ensure that you have all the proper resources available to you on the day of travel. Now, if your traveler is a young adult and they're traveling alone, you can still bring them to the airport and actually escort them all the way to the gate right up until boarding, even if you're not ticketed. Online, we also have resources for those that are traveling with a mobility device. And what's really great about that is on the website, you can actually enter the dimensions of your mobility device. And our search engine online will actually only provide flights available that can accommodate the dimensions for your mobility device. And then when you're at the airport, if there's any issues regarding your disability that might conflict with your travel experience, we have what we call complaint resolution officials. We call them CROW for short. And they're very familiar with the Air Carrier Access Act, and they can work with you to resolve any issues you have on the day of travel. So prior to travel, I would recommend that you have our United app installed on your mobile device. And on the United app, you can actually receive travel alerts prior to travel. You can receive all your boarding alerts. So if you're not at the gate, you can receive notifications if it's time to board or not, or how close we are to boarding time. And then we also have airport maps available on the app, so you can see, you know, what the best door is to be dropped off or to be picked up. Next slide.
So on day of travel, your experience is going to begin at upon arrival at the airport. Please proceed to the United ticket counter, and you can go directly to our additional services line. It is identified with the sunflower sign for hidden disabilities. It's right on top of that particular line. Passengers can please have your IDs ready and your itinerary for the agent that's going to be assisting you. For any companions that are not traveling, that will be just going to the gate or escorting the minor or the young adult to the gate, please make sure that you also have a government issued ID, because you will require a gate pass, which the agent will issue there for you as well. Advise the agent of any other needs that you may have, anything that is pertinent to your travel for today, whether it's at the gate or in flight. You'll be repeating these at the gate and again when you board the aircraft, but that way everything can be put into your reservation in the event that it was not done ahead of time. So again, anything that you need from mobility assistance, sensory, escort to the gate, connection assistance. We do have wheelchair the assistance that we have through our service provider that we partner with, and that person will take the passenger directly to the gate. And the same, if you are making a connection, they will be meeting you upon arrival at your destination and your connecting city. Again, please make sure that you have everything that you need for a gate pass, especially for those that will not be traveling. Next slide, please.
So I know the TSA kind of touched point a little bit on what the traveler experience is like when you go through the TSA checkpoint. Keep in mind that if you have a family member that needs assistance when they go through the TSA and they are traveling alone, if you'd like to escort them through the TSA, you can receive a gate pass, which we've already previously mentioned. You just need to go to the United Airlines ticket counter with your identification, let them know that you will be escorting your loved one through the TSA checkpoint. And then you can also do the same when you're picking them up. If you want to pick up your loved one and they're a disabled traveler, as long as the reservation is coded properly, we can have all of this prearranged for you when you make the reservation. And that way you can meet them when they arrive at the gate. There is a special lane dedicated at the TSA that you can be guided through. And just make sure you let the TSA agent know of any special needs, especially any type of sensitivity to touch, loud noises, or if they have speech impairments. And then also there was a question regarding taking medication through the TSA. You can take medication through the TSA, just be prepared to present, make sure they're in the prescription bottles that has the doctor information and the prescription information if it is requested by the TSA. And then if for any reason you have a family member that is traveling alone and you choose not to escort them, they're a pretty independent traveler, we still have dedicated staff available that can assist your traveler through the TSA if they are traveling alone.
Next slide, please. So your next step is going to be arriving at the gate and boarding. Before you, once you get to the gate, please make sure that you identify the gate that you'll be going to, follow the signs to your designated gate. Make sure you identify yourself with the gate agent. Request again any special needs that you may have, please request them at that time. As far as seating, that was one of the questions. Every attempt will be made to have a seat available for you closer to the front with a little bit more space. But that, however, is going to be done at the gate if not available beforehand. So when you get to the gate, please make sure that you contact the agent or make contact with the agent who's going to be working that flight that can better assist you with that. You can have a seat in the waiting area closest to your gate. However, if you prefer a quieter spot, you can ask the gate agent if there's any other area that you can sit in, perhaps a gate that is not being utilized and there's not so many people around you. The United Club is accessible to only to customers that are traveling, however, and there is a one-day fee of $59, but that is available to you for a more private space. When boarding, if you require any type of assistance, again, identify those ahead of time. If there's a wheelchair passenger, you will be boarding first. We welcome customers with disabilities at the beginning prior to boarding the general public. Please let us know and how we can better assist you. If for any reason, any devices that you check at the gate, such as wheelchairs, canes, walkers, that any assistive device will be checked at the gate, but it will be brought up to the gate upon your arrival, whether you are making a connection or that is your final destination. One of the questions was what happens if a wheelchair or any assistive device is damaged. In that event, please proceed to the baggage claim office where you will be filing a claim for your device. If we do not have a loaner, we will definitely contact any vendor in that area to get you a loaner in the meantime while your device is being fixed. But United Airlines will cover all repairs and or replacements necessary to any items that have been damaged during flight.
Next slide, please. So after you have pre-boarded your flight, there you'll meet your flight attendant and you'll review with your flight attendant any special needs that you may have during the flight. Prior to departure, our crew will fully explain all the safety procedures prior to takeoff. And let's say you push back from the gate and your traveler experiences a medical issue and you feel that they're just not going to be able to travel for the duration of the flight. There always is an option to return back to the gate. If you wish to deplane, you just need to notify your flight attendant prior to takeoff. Our flight attendants are primarily available for your safety. However, they will do whatever they can to help you be more comfortable during the flight. There was also a question regarding food on board your flight. You can purchase food available on shorter flights. So longer flights need to be over 2,000 miles if you wish to have a meal service, if you have any type of dietary needs. For example, if you need a vegetarian meal or if you need a gluten-free meal, we need at least 24 hours to make those reservations, the meal reservations for you. Again, it needs to be on a flight over 2,000 miles for meal service, but you can make those arrangements with a minimum 24 hours advance notice. And then, of course, if you want to bring any of your own food on board, you are more than welcome to do so. And then for our customers that have any type of sensory issues, if there are special items they have that provide them with a little bit of extra comfort or help soothe them, we would highly recommend bringing on board any type of comfort items that that will help soothe your traveler.
Next slide, please. Upon arrival at your final destination, you will proceed to baggage claim. If you have requested an escort from United, there will be someone meeting you on the jet bridge. If you checked any mobility devices, they will also be brought up to the gate, to the jet bridge. So when you get off the aircraft, you will wait right there, and the ramp will bring those items up for you. If the escort is requested, there will be someone meeting you, and also if it's a wheelchair or an aisle chair is needed, there will also be someone meeting you there to help you onto your own device. They will also escort you to the baggage claim area. This is for any items that was checked at the ticket counter, not at the gate. Once again, anything that's checked at the gate will be brought up to the jet bridge upon your arrival. If making a connection, they will take you to the connecting gate. And again, if you're just, if that is your final destination, they will take you to baggage claim, where they will help you with picking up your bags and taking you to whatever your pickup point will be. Our dedicated customer service team are always available. We've got gate agents, we've got customer service agents, whether it's at the gates or at the ticket counter, baggage service level, that can assist you in any way that you need. Please just ask. And if you have a lanyard, the sunflower lanyard, then we will definitely ask you as well. If we see that you are in need of anything, please welcome you to come and look for anyone at the airport that can assist you, whether it's through the airline or through the airport personnel.
So for those of you that are traveling, I would highly recommend going to our United website. It's united.com. And on our website, we have an extensive amount of material regarding travel accessibility and assistance. Up at the top of the page, there's a help tab. And if you just click on the help tab, you can see all the different links we have available depending on what your specific need is. I think one of the coolest resources we have on our website is what's called a social story. And everything that we actually just discussed is available in a step-by-step slide presentation where the travel experience is fully described in simple terms. So it's really easy for anyone to understand. And then on the website, we also have several links available, such as Wings for Autism. We have TSA Cares. We also have traveler tips, just to name a few. So if for any reason you can't find what you're looking for on the website, we do have our accessibilities desk, and that phone number is also available on that same page, and they should be able to answer any of your travel questions. And in closing, I just want to make sure that that you all are fully aware of what resources you have available at your fingertips, and we want to make sure that your travel experience is a pleasant one. And I do feel very confident that United does have all the resources available to make it happen for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim and Maria. That was a wealth of information. That was great. So that is the end of our presentations. From here, we are opening it up the Q&A section. So if you have not already, please submit your questions into the Q&A box. It should be at the bottom of the screen, and you can type in your question there. I'm going to start from the beginning regarding the lanyards that was typed in. So is there a universal card or lanyard for a child with an invisible disability to assist in flying, and what resources? I think that would be addressed by the sunflower lanyards, correct, Eliza?
Yeah, exactly. So the sunflowers, it's a growing symbol, and they're trying to get to kind of the stage where if you picture the handicap symbol and you picture the graphic of the person sitting in a wheelchair, they're trying to get to that stage where it will be just as universal, that when you see the sunflower, you will immediately think of an invisible disability, something that is not as obvious as a wheelchair or a cane or something that's physical, something that you might not be able to see. So that's where the sunflower is kind of coming along, and that's only growing. And the more you wear it, the more, people will have attention to it. And to kind of continue along some of the other sunflower questions, is the sunflower lanyard available at all airports? So right now, no, it's kind of on an individual airport basis. They are able to choose to become members or not. I just looked up some statistics. There's over 240 airports throughout the world, including 30 different countries and 17 airlines that currently participate. So again, more are coming. And if your other favorite airport, not us, your other favorite one does not participate, feel free to write them and encourage them to join as a member. And then, is it possible to get a sunflower lanyard prior to the flight? Can we order one to be sent to our home? Right now, we don't offer that. You can feel free to write to us individually, and we might be able to make an exception, but they are available at every single information desk. So it will be impossible for you to get through our airport without passing by at least one. So we hope that, because they're available both pre and post security and all of our terminals, that hopefully you'll be able to pass by one of those desks and really quickly pick one up. You don't need to talk to the volunteer. You just say, can I please have a lanyard? And they will hand it. And the conversation can be done in less than 10 seconds. And yes, you are more than welcome to keep your lanyards. There was a question, should they be given back before you leave the airport? No, they are yours. They are your property. They are yours to wear forever, wherever you want, in airports, in train stations, in your home, to the grocery store, anywhere you'd like. They are yours to keep. And please, we recommend and we encourage you to wear them in other locations. And if you want to go through some of the other questions, I think there was one that was already answered from TSA, but if there are others.
Yeah, just want to add to for the sunflower programs. I know we had one of our colleagues wear the sunflower lanyard on a recent trip to France, and they wore it in the airport. And once they got to France, they wore them throughout their trip. So even going to the museums and different venue halls throughout the city, many venues recognized it, and they were able to get ahead to the front of the line and have special access where they typically wouldn't have had that. So just a good point that it's recognizable and growing to be more recognizable all around the world. So next question on here for TSA, we had, what is the best way to bring medications through TSA safely?
Okay. The best way, to be honest with you, it depends on if it's liquid medication or pills. It has to be declared to the officer in advance, and then it may require additional screening to ensure that it is safe for travel. Again, one of the best tips is TSA.gov. It breaks down all kinds of different medication, the limits, what it can be carried in, how to keep it cool, etc. So TSA.gov answers all of your questions, and I encourage people to use that before they come so that they have the knowledge.
Thank you, Doc. Jean, did you have anything to add? Nope.
Yes. I just want to make sure that they know that when they have medication, if they don't mind, keep it inside your bottle. Do not take the medication out of the bottle and just put it in the bag. Keep it inside the original bottle or container.
Thank you. And if it's a liquid medication that's more than 3 ounces, are they still allowed to bring it onto the plane?
Yes, they are.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you. Right. Next question we have in here. For United Airlines, Kim and Maria, if there is a last-minute cancellation due to a seizure or a medical emergency, are there any options other than paying more per ticket for a cancelable ticket?
Yes, we'll be more than happy to change that reservation at no charge. We can change it for a future date. It can also be canceled. You can do it through reservations or united.com, or you can, if it's happening at the airport, then we'll be more than happy to assist you with that as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I have another question while you're on here. For a family that is nervous, if their child will have a behavioral meltdown on the plane, so screaming, running, fighting, it happens. How can the plane handle that when in flight? What could happen?
It depending on the severity, the best person will be obviously the companion to calm the child down. It is best to advise the crew beforehand in case this does happen, so that they are prepared how to help you and how to help the child Again, depending on the severity, the plane may have to divert if there is no medical assistance. First, they will call for any medical professionals on board that may be able to assist. If there isn't, then the plane could possibly divert to the closest airport.
Thank you. And for the family and caregivers to notify the airline, is that best done to the gate agent or directly to the flight crew when they board the plane?
It can be done both ways. The gate agents will go on board and notify the crew of any special assistance that this family may need. But again, when the family goes on, if they can identify those with in-flight, it's also good that, and we recommend that you do that.
Yep. I'll have one more for you. So for a child's self-regulation, once the plane is flight, is it possible when the seatbelt sign is off to pace the aisles or get some extra energy out? Is that allowed?
Yes, it is. As long as it's not interfering with the safety of the child and others on board, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. And then just one general one. This could go out to anyone. If someone is overwhelmed at any point during their travel, whether they're on the plane or in the airport, if they are overwhelmed and just sensory overload, could we revisit some different ideas that were discussed of what resources they could use if they need a quiet space?
From the airline perspective, as I mentioned earlier, there is the one-day pass that can be purchased at the United Club, and that is $59 for a one-time visit. The only thing with that is that it's only available for the person that's traveling on that day. But there are other areas, perhaps a gate that's not being utilized, where there is not so many people. We can certainly make sure that if they don't hear the announcements all the way there, that we go look for them upon boarding, just so that they don't miss their flight. But that's also available. That would be the only thing in the gate area as far as that we can provide. I don't know if anybody else from the airport can provide anything else.
So for TSA, we have a private screening room. They can always request a private screening, and it'll be just there with their parents or caregivers, and it'll be a nice quiet area for them to go through the screening.
Thank you, Dar.
And as the airport, we do not currently have a sensory room, but that is on our radar and we are working towards being able to offer that soon. Don't have a timeline on it, but it is a lovely amenity that we would like to provide you guys very soon.
Thank you, Eliza. And then we have some more questions coming in the Q&A box. So from Diana Gallagher, if their child needs more space and seating at the front of the plane, is there a way to book this without having to pay for first or business class?
Yes, you can call united.com or the accessibility desk on basically call reservations, the accessibility desk, or on united.com. The only thing is that it may require payment. So calling would be the best way to do it. If you haven't prearranged it before travel day, on day of departure, both at the ticket counter, it could be done at the ticket counter, or it could be done at the gate. And we will make every effort to try to either move someone, give them a seat either comparable to what they have, or even better, to try to get the child or whoever needs a special seat closer to the front.
Thank you. And then I have one more question for the airline. I think we had talked about this before, but just publicly. So is there a way to have the individual, if they're traveling independently, is there a way, but maybe they're nonverbal or have a lot of anxiety, is there a way to have it on their boarding pass designated that they have a disability? Or is that a situation where having the lanyard would be a more useful tool?
The lanyard would definitely be the more visible tool. Unfortunately, it is not something that is written or pre-printed on a boarding pass. There are remarks made in the record, but in order for the agent to see that, they would actually have to go into the record and read what special services this person may need. But again, upon arrival, if they make us aware of that, we'll make sure that we follow through at the gate and on board as well.
Thank you. And looks like we have another question regarding medication for TSA. Could someone bring pill medication in a daily, weekly organizer, or does it need to be in the original packaging?
So we ask if you're bringing medication that it stay in its original prescribed bottle. that matches the name of the person traveling. And then if you could, once you get to your location, you can disseminate it in the weekly box, especially if it's in excess. That's the recommendation. And it's all subject to additional screening nonetheless.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Do we have any other questions anyone would like to submit? Please enter them in the Q&A box or in the chat box as well. I've been sent to a link that was shared earlier to go to flyreagan.com that highlights the length of the security lines. So when I send out the resources following this webinar, I'm going to include that link as well. Right, I'm just going through, make sure we covered everything. So here's another one for the airport or the airplane. Just what supports are available for non-verbal passengers? Will employees be trained if they have it written or using a board as a way to communicate if they're able to travel independently but non-verbal?
That's when you use your TSA cares and your PSS. That's when I said they should tell you what the requirements are, what their needs are. Those are the things that we're talking about. So we know, because our officers that are PSS have had additional training, so we'll know in advance what to do.
Thank you, June. From the airline, is there a best answer? If it's communicating with flight attendants or anyone on board?
Repeat the question for me again, please.
If someone is nonverbal and traveling independently, would the airline flight attendants or pilot be trained to be able to assist if maybe they're using a letter board or if they have written out a message just to get what they're trying to say, if they're nonverbal?
Absolutely. Yes, we will use written communication, and the flight attendants, they do need to be made aware. And again, we'll pass it along from the ticket counter to the gate to in flight, because they will need to do a special briefing, especially when it comes to safety. They will have to do a special briefing with this person.
And so for safety, is it the safety will be highlighted within the folded flyer that's in the back of the seat, or is there additional supports that would be given?
They will go
They're hard
through
of
it.
hearing?
They will go through it with the card that's in the backseat pocket. They'll go through everything, make sure the person understands, and then write down any questions that they may have, and they can answer them.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And then that covered a lot of our questions that were submitted. Is there anything else to go into the Q&A box? I see, is this webinar recorded? It is recorded. It'll be uploaded to our YouTube channel and emailed out later as well once it's ready. I see, what if I'm sensitive to loud sounds on an airplane? Noise canceling headphones are helpful. Absolutely. And why is there not a sensory room? I think that is up to the airport and airline. I'm sure they're working hard to get that ready for the public. There aren't any further questions. I'll go over to thank you for joining today. I hope this information was useful and will be a great resource for future travels. This presentation and the video will all be emailed out along with all the resources that we discussed. And the video will be up on our YouTube channel as soon as it's ready to go out publicly. So thank you everyone for joining. If you have any other questions, please send me an email. My email address is on the original registration form if you need to reach me. And thank you for coming. And thank you to our presenters so much for your time and efforts into your presentations and everything that went into this.